I hope you guys are all okay and all good. Welcome to another video and my review of The Last Romeo by Justin Myers. This is a book that's been on my radar for quite some time. I found out about it quite a while ago, I believe. Justin Myers is a blogger called The Guyliner who is incredibly funny, incredibly witty. If you've not read his blog yet, I'll leave a link in the description box below and you can check him out and find out more about him. He's really amazing, he's really lovely, and I was really excited when I found out that he had a book coming out. The interesting thing that they're doing with this one is that it's already out as an ebook and as an audiobook, but it doesn't come out as a physical book until the summer, I think. So if you're going to an airport, you can get it, or if you're willing to read on a Kindle or listen to an audiobook, then you can get it. But it's not yet available in like the general UK trade. It's a very interesting way of doing things. I don't know the rationale behind it, but it means that I've like immediately jumped on the audiobook because it was like, oh, that's there, I'm gonna get that, and it made me listen to it quite quickly. So maybe that's the idea behind it. Who even knows? This will be a spoiler-free review for the most part, but if I'm about to go into a spoilery place, I will let you know. The Last Romeo tells the story of a man called Jamie. He's 34, he's fed up with his life, his 6-year relationship with his boyfriend Adam has imploded and he has suddenly been left alone in his apartment and trying to figure it all out. He works a job that he hates at a trashy magazine website and he doesn't know what to do with himself now that he has found himself single once again. After being encouraged by his best friend Bella, he takes up online dating and begins anonymously blogging about each of the dates that he goes on, changing some of the details to avoid anyone knowing that it's them as Romeo, claiming that he will pack the whole thing in when he meets the last Romeo, so the one that he intends to be with for the rest of his life. He goes on a lot of dates with some very weird, very messy, sometimes hot, sometimes lovely men and writes about them anonymously, but then he ends up on a date with a closeted Olympic star and he writes about it and it goes viral, and suddenly Jamie starts to realise that maybe some things are left unshared. This book had absolutely everything for me. I was so bloody pleased with it. Honestly, I went into it thinking I would like it. I thought I would enjoy it. I thought it'd be a light-hearted, really fun, really sweet read. I wasn't expecting to fall as head over heels in love with it as I did. What you have in Jamie is a really warm, really likeable protagonist that you can properly root for, which is something that I really like in a book. I know that like not all protagonists have to be likeable, and that's not saying that Jamie doesn't make some questionable decisions, because he does, and that's another reason why you really love him, because he messes up, and that's why you like. That's another thing that's so endearing about him, is that he messes up, and that's, I think, true of most characters that we consume in the media. We like them not just because they're likeable, we like them because they're human at the same time. Is that a ramble that makes no sense? Maybe. He's really warm, he's really witty, and he's just really fun to be with for however long the book is in page terms. It was like a 9-hour audiobook, I think. It was really fun to be with Jamie for 9 hours. I had a really nice time. The story is gripping, it twists and it turns this way and that and is really interesting. It made me cringe at points when Jamie's doing particular things. It made me swoon at other points and broke my heart a little bit towards the end. And I think the mark of a good book, especially a good audiobook, is when you find yourself reacting to it in a very public way. Like, I tweeted this to him as well. I was stood on a fortunately completely empty train on Thursday night, I think. Wednesday night? Might have been Wednesday night. Listening to this particular section of the audiobook. And when I knew something was coming, did an out loud, oh no. Because I knew what was happening and I knew where it was going to go. Like in that kind of way where, not in like a bad way, in that sort of, oh my god, this is actually happening, this is really sad sort of way. So for those reasons, it's already brilliant for me and it's already working for me. And I mean, it just feels, the plot feels so tight and it's just so, it's so well put together and it's so funny. It's really, really funny. And I feel like it takes a lot for me to actually laugh out loud at an audiobook. I feel like it takes a lot for that to happen. But this had me chuckling all the way through. Like, laugh every couple of minutes. It was brilliant. I really, really loved it. But you don't just love it for Jamie and the blog post that he's writing and this journey that he's going on. You love it for the side characters as well. I loved Nicole, Richie and Sylvie. Richie in particular I really loved. Richie is like an example of what straight men should probably be like with gay men to a point. Like, he's a bit far. He kind of takes some jokes a little bit too far, but I think he's so comfortable with himself and he's so comfortable talking to Jamie about everything that Jamie does in the same way that Jamie's comfortable with him, and it's really lovely. And you have great characters on the side with Bella, who's his best friend, who is there for him the whole way through. People like Alicia and Roland that he worked with are really interesting to listen to, and Finn, who he meets along the way. All these people adds so much to the story. It's such a brilliant cast of characters. It feels like the kind of thing that would make a really great Netflix series or a really great film. All of these characters just felt so very real and so very wonderful to kind of have around, and everyone kind of played into the story really well and played into this Romeo narrative in a really fun and interesting way. Even characters that you didn't see that much, so characters like Finn and characters like Luca and Sinead, who don't show up that often, they all have their own function and their own part to play. It's really well crafted and really fun and really funny, and I'm gonna say it now, it's my favourite book that I've read this year. It's the 6th book that I've read this year, and it is without a doubt my absolute favourite. I can't fault it at all, because, and this is why actually this isn't going into a spoilery place, because I don't really have anything unresolved or in any way complaining that I sort of want to talk about. Like I just feel really filled up by this book and really overjoyed with it. It's just so fun and so funny and just so light, and but not light at the same time, because it kind of goes into a lot of different things about being gay and what it's like to be a gay man and coming out and all sorts of things like that. And so it kind of does the deeper side of everything, but with such a light touch and such a nifty way of doing it that it doesn't feel like you're being talked to about those things. It's only kind of as I'm talking out loud that I'm thinking about these things. I do recommend that you go and check it out and you go and give it a listen or a read or something. I'll leave links in the description box below. Like I said, it's only available on Kindle and audiobook until the summer. I think it's only 99p as an ebook at the moment. You can't really go wrong. It's so fun and so brilliant. And yeah, it's my favourite thing that I've read this year. It's brought me so much joy. And it's going to go into that rotation of books that I seem to have that I re-listen to. So the things like Bossy Pants and Someday Maybe that I will end up re-listening to over and over and over again, because it just lifts me up and just makes me feel so happy. It's one of those books. It's one of those books that's going to sit in my faves for quite a while, I think. And I'm going to be talking to a lot of people about it this year. It's a brilliant read. All links and info in the description box below. I can't say anything else. It's so great. I loved Jamie. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And The Last Romeo is an absolutely cracking read. I do recommend. Oh, it's just, I love those books, those audiobooks, or those books that you listen to where you're having an actual reaction to what's happening on the page while you're reading it. Like, and you can really feel it happening. I think that's what it is. Like, Jamie just feels like someone who you can be so close to, and everything that he's doing, you are there with him every step of the way. It's so great. I can't recommend it hard enough. All links will be in the description box below. If you've already read it or listened to it, I'd love to hear what you think. Leave me some comments down below. We can have a chat. That's the end of this video. I'm not going to go any further. I have nothing else to say. It's really great. Fave of the year so far. Yaysies. If you like this video, don't forget to put a thumb on it and to subscribe down below if you want to see more. I love each and every one of your faces, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!